Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're popping the hood on the human body to look at the exact mechanics of a heart attack. We're going to explore the remarkable way your heart functions day in and day out, exactly what goes mechanically wrong when things break down, and most importantly, the incredible ways that modern medicine steps in to perform a rescue. By the end of this, you are going to walk away with a deep, structured understanding of your body's most vital machine. Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. First up, the heart's plumbing system. Second, when blockages occur. Third, spotting the warning signs. And fourth, the medical rescue plan. We aren't just covering the scary mechanics, we're thoroughly explaining the life-saving solutions too. Let's get into it. Section 1. The heart's plumbing system. To truly grasp what a heart attack is, we have to look at the heart as a highly efficient, heavy-duty mechanical pump. Alright, let's clear up some of this intimidating medical jargon right off the bat. Acute coronary syndrome, or ACS. It sounds complex, but simply put, this just refers to any condition that causes a blockage of blood flow to the heart muscles. In plain English, it means the heart's essential plumbing is getting clogged up. And that brings us directly to the second half of this double definition drop. Myocardial infarction, or MI. This is the actual medical term for a heart attack. Think of it like this. If acute coronary syndrome is the plumbing getting blocked, the myocardial infarction is the actual physical damage that happens because of it. When that blockage stops oxygen and nutrients from reaching the heart tissue, that specific part of the heart muscle literally dies. It's a total supply and demand failure. So how exactly does this supply chain work? Well, your heart is basically a massive muscular organ, pumping oxygen-rich blood to the rest of your body. The main pumping chamber doing all the heavy lifting here is the left ventricle, and it pushes that oxygenated blood out through a huge vessel called the aorta. But here's the catch. The heart muscle itself needs fuel to do all that pumping. So you have these smaller pipes called coronary arteries branching off directly from the aorta. These are the heart's very own dedicated fuel lines, supplying it with the necessary oxygen and nutrients. Section 2, when blockages occur. We know how the machine operates under ideal conditions, but what happens when it breaks down? So the fundamental question we have to ask is, what exactly causes these crucial coronary arteries to block in the first place? I mean, if they're essentially just pipes delivering fuel, what is clogging the pipe? Well, medical literature points to 3 very specific structural culprits. Let's walk through them logically. The first and absolute most common cause is an atherosclerotic plaque rupture. Over time, fatty plaque deposits build up and narrow the artery. If that plaque suddenly ruptures, boom, it immediately forms a blood clot, creating a massive roadblock. So, a blood clot is the most common cause. But there are 2 other less common structural failures. You could have a coronary artery spasm, which is a sudden, violent tightening of the artery that completely cuts off flow. Or the third cause is a coronary artery dissection, where the actual inside wall of the artery separates or tears, causing a blockage. Let's zoom in on that second cause, the sudden tightening or spasm, for a second, to really ground this in the real world. What actually triggers a coronary artery to just violently spasm like that? Well, the main triggers include the use of certain drugs, smoking, a sudden blast of cold weather, or experiencing extreme stress. These environmental and behavioral factors can literally cause the physical pipe to just clamp shut, leading to that dangerous starvation of oxygen to the heart muscle. Section 3, spotting the warning signs. Because knowing what these internal mechanics look like on the outside could literally save a life. The primary warning sign of a blocked coronary artery is known clinically as angina. Now, a huge misconception is that a heart attack is just a sharp pain on the left side of your chest. It's actually much broader than that. Angina is a sudden pain, discomfort, tightening, or even a burning sensation in the chest. And crucially, that pain radiates. It might spread out to your upper abdomen, the shoulders, the arms, the neck, or even your lower jaw. The body is essentially sounding a system-wide alarm that the heart muscle is suffocating. And you really need to watch out for a highly critical red flag known as unstable angina. This is a common and critical term when diagnosing acute coronary syndrome. If you're experiencing that burning, tightening angina pain while you are simply resting, or if you have multiple episodes so severe that they prevent you from doing even moderate physical activity, it's classified as unstable. This is a massive, blaring warning sign that the heart's plumbing is critically compromised. But, it's not just pain. Think of this next part as a public service announcement checklist. Alongside the angina, acute coronary syndrome often brings 4 secondary symptoms. Number 1, breathlessness. Number 2, dizziness. Number 3, sweating. And number 4, nausea. If the heart pump is failing to push oxygenated blood to the brain and the body, these systemic reactions are the immediate terrifying result. Section 4, the medical rescue plan. All right, take a deep breath because modern medicine acts as the ultimate repair crew here. The rescue plan for acute coronary syndrome logically splits into 2 columns, medications and physical procedures. Notice how each medication serves a very specific mechanical purpose. Aspirin is given to prevent new blood clots from forming. Thrombolytics, like TBA or streptokinase, act as chemical wrecking balls to physically smash up existing clots. Nitroglycerine and morphine are used to relax the coronary arteries and take the edge off that severe angina pain. And beta blockers actually force your heart rate to slow down, which actively decreases how much oxygen the heart muscle needs. Meanwhile, over on the procedure side, doctors will immediately use oxygen therapy to artificially pump up blood oxygen levels, while they prep for heavy-duty interventions like a coronary angioplasty or CAB. Let's move to and see how this builds into one of those specific procedures, the coronary angioplasty. This is a highly targeted way to physically clear the blocked pipe. In step 1, a catheter tipped with a tiny, deflated balloon is snaked right into the blocked coronary artery. Once it's positioned perfectly at the clot, the balloon is inflated to force the artery open. In step 2, the balloon is removed, but a small wire mesh tube called a stent is left behind. This stent acts as a permanent scaffolding to keep the coronary artery patent, which is just the medical term for keeping it propped open so blood can flow freely again. But what if the blockage is just too severe for a balloon and a stent? That's when surgeons turn to a heavy-hitting option, KABG, which stands for coronary artery bypass grafting. And fun fact, it's incredibly pronounced in hospitals as cabbage. This is a major surgery where doctors basically say, okay, we'll just build a detour around the roadblock. They use a vein taken from another part of the body or an artificial graft material and attach it above and below the blockage. It completely bypasses the clogged section of the coronary artery to successfully reestablish blood flow to the starving heart muscle. It's truly amazing. So we've covered the plumbing, the structural failures, the warning signs, and the incredible mechanical fixes of modern medicine. Now, I want to leave you with this provocative question. Right now, do you know how to spot the difference between simple chest discomfort and the urgent alarms of acute coronary syndrome? Think back to the angina radiating to the jaw, the sudden sweating, the shortness of breath. Armed with the structured knowledge from this explainer, you are now empowered to understand exactly what is happening inside your body and exactly when to call in the medical rescue crew. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.